books don't feel like books at all. They feel like someone sitting quietly next to you. I want to die, but I want to eat tteokbokki happens to be one of those books. Even the title in itself feels like a pause. It's ordinary, it's casual, and yet it stops you in your tracks. Because it captures something many of us feel, but hardly are ever able to articulate or put it into words. We're feeling something, but acting in an absolutely opposite manner. We want to disappear, but we want to stay. We want the pain to end, but we're still craving for something warm and familiar. These juxtapositions, these opposite feelings, they're a part of all our lives, but this book captures it like nothing else. You know, the best part of the book is that there's no drama in it. It's just life exactly as it is. The book isn't loud at all, it doesn't scream pain or it doesn't try to shock you. It talks about the kind of darkness that quietly exists alongside daily life. Going to work, replying to messages, eating meals, showing up for your job, showing up for your friends, and still feeling tired inside. I think what stayed with me the most is how normal everything is. Therapy sessions, small joys, relapses, moments of hope, followed by heaviness again. The best part is that there's no neat arc that the book tells you about. There's no, this is how you heal formula that the book screams. The book doesn't try to judge you, it doesn't try to tell you that there's a certain way things are supposed to be done. And somehow, that honesty that this book brings right here, it's deeply comforting. If you'll do a quick search about the book, you'll understand that this book has been translated in many languages. It's been a bestseller. And I really think the reason this book has touched so many lives and it's become a bestseller is not because it offered answers. It didn't tell you certain ways, it didn't tell you 10 ways to heal from your pain, 5 ways to live your life and experience joy. It's only because this book offered recognition. It spoke to people who felt invisible in their struggles, people who were functioning, surviving, but quietly hurting. And in doing so, in being so honest and being so comforting, it struck a chord across cultures, countries, and languages. The book has been translated, like I told you, in multiple languages, read by millions of people across the globe. And when you read it, when you read the book, you pick it up and you sit with it, you realize how incredibly personal it feels, as if it was just written for you. You know, for me, reading the book felt like someone finally put my feelings into words. Feelings I thought were too small, too confusing, or too contradictory to explain to people. The author didn't try to sound wise at all. She sounds so human because it's a book about her own struggles and her own therapy sessions, right? And that's what makes this book feel like a hug rather than a lesson. So if you're in a dark space, this book will not try to tell you that you need to get out of it. It'll not even try to pull you out of it. It'll not rush you in any manner. It'll not tell you to be grateful or positive or strong. Three words a lot of people around you will try to tell you. It will simply just sit with you. It'll gently remind you that you're not alone in feeling a certain way. And sometimes that's enough. That's all that a person's looking for in life. You know, for me, the most important thing that the book left me with is that healing is not linear. Some days will feel lighter, some days will feel heavy again. Some days you'll feel like you're failing, you're a failure, you've lost everything in life. And the next day you will feel a renewed joy of doing your best, not giving up. And I think that's the recognition I was looking for. It just means that you're human. And I think the best way of telling you how good the book is and why you should pick it up is by sharing my favorite parts from the book with you, the ones that have stayed with me long after I close the book. And I hope some of these parts will sit with you too. To right every wrong you come across in the world would be an impossible endeavor for any one person. You're just one person after all. I think the reason why it stayed with me was because whenever something goes wrong in my life or around me, or someone doesn't act the right way or the moral way, I get really disturbed by it. And I want to always have an opinion or opine on it. Or just want to talk to the person and tell them that this is not how things should be done. But when I read this and there's a whole background to it, right? It was just so simple. Something, of course, when you read it's simple, when you reflect on it, it's slightly more difficult to accommodate in your own life if you've grown up being a certain way. But you cannot right every wrong. And that's very important. for all of us to realize. The next bit, the hedgehog's dilemma. Extremes tend to connect. For example, people who appear arrogant tend to have low self esteem. They keep trying to get others to look up to them. I think it's quite self explanatory, but we come across so many people in our lives who we feel are so confident and so arrogant and so they have their head on the right things. But generally, if you deep diver into it, they need to be arrogant, they need to show that they're right, they need to go out to everybody and tell them that they are right and they're better and they're better than the best, usually stems from a lot of trauma and a lot of self-esteem issues. And this is something I would also encourage you, of course, if you don't pick up the book, but you can always come back to this hedgehog's dilemma or read up about it and understand how it's very, very important to understand the psyche of such person so that you can respond accordingly. So, is my mood important? Your mood is extremely important. It determines how you interpret the random events of life. You see how simple it is? The simple way things are conveyed in the book, the simple way they hit you right in the face. And I think this, I'll repeat it again, your mood is extremely important. It determines how you interpret the random events of your life. I think a lot of us end up being in situations around people for a longer period of time where we don't feel really healthy, happy from inside, or where there are so many triggers which make our mood go from bad to worst. And that's why it's really, really important, what this book is telling you, that you need to have a control on your mood. You need to get yourself out of these triggers which affect your mood in any manner, because that's what will determine the quality of life, the quality of day-to-day experiences that you have. Let's say you avoid it, there's a heavy price to pay. If you've seen my last video, you would remember the book that I was talking about, The Body Keeps the Score, right? That's pretty much what it is. If you are in an environment that stresses you out or around people who don't respect you, eventually your body will react to it in a certain way. Your mood will not be happy, you will not have great experiences in life, and eventually all of it will come down on your health, physical as well, not just mental health. This one bit is so hard hitting, and this one's like stayed with me, and I think it's going to stay with me for a long time. There is no absolute good when it comes to relationship. It's perfectly healthy to have disagreements with friends and family and with lovers from time to time. You need to learn how to differentiate those parts from the whole. Just because you like one thing about a person, you don't need to like everything about them. And just because you don't like one thing about a person, it doesn't mean that the whole person is not worth your time. This is a habit which a lot of us need to inculcate in life. A lot of people generally view things as black or white. They generally tend to think of situations or people as right or wrong. And it simply tells you that you cannot judge the whole story by one incident or one disagreement. And that's important. And that's one lesson which definitely is going to stay with me, which I will actively try to pursue. Whenever you have that one track thinking about anybody or any situation in life, you need to sit back, relax, give yourself time to pause, and see and count the other good things that come with that particular person or situation, and then judge it as a whole. Whether the pros are greater than the cons, how do you generally feel about it? Is it always about pros and cons with friends and family and lovers, right? It cannot be. So, yeah, no black and white thinking. Well, there's so much to share, but I think I'll stop here after this one. This is the last one. I don't think you need to find the reason for everything in yourself. You could have just been having a bad day. This sits with me so well, and why I keep coming back to this particular part is because whenever something goes wrong in my life, in a situation, I try to find 10 reasons behind it. I generally sit with it and try to, go down to the depth of it. I want to solve everything. I want to know why a particular thing happened, and I'll generally, more than the situation, I'll try to find ways in which I could have done things better, or why I didn't react a different way. I will dissect the whole situation. Whereas sometimes one needs to really let go. Sometimes it could just be a bad day, a bad situation, or a bad person. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about things, and there's no reason to certain experiences that you have in life. And the more you try to find a reason to it, the more you spiral out of control. And I think you just need to let go of things sometimes. So, like I said in the beginning, the book doesn't scream at you. The book's not heavy at all. The book's not sad or upsetting. It just makes you feel so heard. It makes you feel seen, understood, warm, real, raw, all of those things. So I'm just going to end this video with one beautiful, beautiful line from the book. Because the human heart, even when it wants to die, often wants at the same time to eat some tteokbokki too.